to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Ha, Rakah Kodash, double honors to our apostles and elders of great millstone which taught us the truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure to the end. Shalom. Alright, and the Baba Bone. Now, this is the Teach Act Amendment to the Copyright Act, codified at 110 parentheses 2, permits the performance of a reasonable and limited portion of films in an online classroom. Alright, so I'm going to use a short clip of a film called Selena in this online classroom setting using YouTube. Alright, I'm not making no income off of this video. It's only for educational purposes. Alright, the movie is Selena, so if you want to go out and buy the movie or watch the movie or whatever, that's the movie. Alright, but there's a little clip that is there that I'm going to use for educational purposes. Alright, so once again, this is a clip from Selena, 1997 movie. Selena was a true person. She was a singer of the Northern Kingdom of Israel. Whether she knew it or not, she was most likely a Issachar, alright, of the tribe of Issachar, which are the so-called Mexicans. Alright, and what they're speaking in this scene for educational purpose, which I'm using it for educational purposes, alright, is to teach my people this Bible, the truth. Alright, watch what they say in this part.
They want us to play Mexico? Dad, that would be so cool.
I'm not sure of that right now.
Come on, Dad.
Hey, Dad, you always said everything's a risk, right?
They don't accept us with it. They never have.
Hello, we're Mexican.
No, we are Mexican-American, and they don't like...
Alright, so what did he just say? See, his children were in a band that he was managing, alright, and they got, told to go to Mexico to sing and make money. And he's telling them pretty much, you're not accepted in Mexico, alright, because you're American and Mexican, alright? A Mexican-American is the so-called white man calls us, alright?
Mexican-American.
That's all the same going,
and they can
son.
be mean, and they can tear us apart over there. Selena's Spanish is...
What about my Spanish? I've been singing in Spanish for 10 years. It's perfect.
Singing, yes, but when you speak it a little funny. And down there, you gotta speak perfectly, or the press will eat you up and spit you out alive.
Which this is true. Me and my rib, we went into a restaurant to eat, and it was with the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Mexicans of the tribe of Issachar, whether they knew it or not. But there was a female, and she wouldn't serve us because I couldn't speak the language properly. Like I could speak it slow, and it's probably sounds broken to them, but she just left us there, and we didn't get no service or nothing. And it was because of that, all right, which I grew up, I found out later that I was of the tribe of Manasseh, all right, through a dying relative, but, I grew up amongst Issachar, the Northern Kingdom, Gad, Issachar. Gad is the North American Indians, Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. You got all the 12 tribes here in America today, all right? But the Northern Kingdom, all right, and the Southern Kingdom of Israel were separated after the death of King Solomon, all right? And Israel, the Israelites being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, all right? So the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. Judah are the so-called Negroes. Benjamin are the so-called West Indians. Levi are the so-called Haitians, which make up the Southern Kingdom. Simeon are the so-called Dominicans. Zebulon are the so-called Guatemalans to the so-called Panamanians. Ephraim are the so-called Puerto Ricans. Manasseh are the so-called Cubans. Gad are the so-called North American Indians. Reuben are the so-called Seminole Indians. Naphtali are the so-called Argentinians to the Chileans. Asher are the Colombians to the Uruguayans. Issachar are the so-called Mexicans. These make up the 12 tribes of Israel, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. Alright, so going back to this video here of the Selena movie, this is only a clip. Alright, he's explaining to his son and his daughter, alright, that they're not accepted by so-called Mexicans because they live in America, and they're not accepted by the so-called white Americans, which are Edomites, okay, the so-called Caucasian today. Their biblical name would be Esau Edom, their father Esau, which his name was changed to Edom, so they are the nation of Edom, alright. Not every so-called white man is an Edomite, and not every so-called Negro is a Israelite. You had the nations, all right, mingled together. So you're of your father's lineage. So there are Israelites that look like so-called Caucasians, all right, and there are Edomites that look like so-called Negroes or Latinos, all right. So we have to discern through the Spirit, and the Spirit will testify with our spirit whether we be an Israelite. And what is being revealed in this movie, okay, is true to an Israelite of the northern kingdom of the tribe of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. Also of the tribe of Gad, all right, which are the so-called North American Indians. Okay, they also really it's a curse that's upon all the tribes, because even with Judah and Ephraim vexing each other, okay, there was always like a rivalry amongst the tribes, even within each other. All right, but when we go to the kingdom, which will be here on earth, the kingdom of heaven, in the promised land, which will be in the land of Israel after it's purified by fire, all right, there will be one nation that's above all, and it's the nation of Israel. Yasha Allah, the princes of the power. Our power is Yahweh, and our Savior is Yahweh Shai, the King of Kings.
Not alive. I seen him do it.
Overreacting as usual.
Yeah, the music will speak for itself, Dad.
Listen, being Mexican-American is tough. Anglos jump all over you if you don't speak English perfectly. Mexicans jump all over you if you don't speak Spanish perfectly. We gotta be twice as perfect as anybody else.
And as you heard him call the so-called white men Anglos, all right, that would actually go back to the Israelites. The Israelites were the angels, all right, are the angels, all right, of the Lord. Anglo, like Anglo-Saxon, that goes back to the Israelites, all right. So the Anglos would actually be the Israelite, and you know the the makers of these movies are Edomites, all right, which this is Gregory Nava, which he is the director, producer, and screenwriter, all right, and he produced the movie Selena. It says Nava had further directing success in 1997 with the film Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez, who was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress. From 2003 to 2004, Nava